We continue with the Davenport Signing Day special here from Davenport University, the football program. Excited about the new players that have committed and signed to play with Davenport. I'm Rick Berkey, the head coach. Sparky McEwen is here, of course, and we're touching on the high school signings. We went over the mid-year transfers just previously, and we're going to start right at the top with a name that's got not only some high school and college implications, but pro implications. Kellen Brady from Florida. His father was a tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and how did you get this young man?
I tell you what, his father still looks like he can play, by the way. When they came here on their visit, and wow, he's just a big man, and but outstanding family. Kellen, man, we are so excited about him. He has a chance to come in, and as true freshmen, Rick, I really don't like playing freshmen early. And I just think those better teams, they're veteran built, but this, here's a sign of times. Here's a change in how things are working. Here's a young man that's going to come in and push people. Okay, he's done some tremendous things. He's a pass catching tight end, and he has enough physical ability, to potentially come here and possibly get in the lineup. So I'm very excited about him. Our guys did a really good job of recruiting him, and we just got better, with signing a tight end of this nature.
Now, his dad was 6'6". Does that sound right? So how big do you think Kellen's going to get?
Well, just body typing him, he looks like he's going to definitely push those limits. His dad is, once again, he's that 6'6", 6'5", 6'6", maybe. He's a big man. And like I told you, he looks like he still could play, And so we had a very interesting visit there. So I'm excited about him, but I'm hoping that he finishes up about where his dad left off.
Program that's been very good to the Panthers. River Rouge High School brings you running back Cameron Broadnax.
Cameron's a young man that, over, and we watch, that program over the years, and they've done a really good job of developing players. And he's going to be a youngster that comes in, he's another big body for us, so we're going to get him here and continue to work with him to develop him as a good player for us.
Here in West Michigan, of course, Shane Fairfield, one of the top coaches, not only in the area, but also in the state, in the Midwest, for that matter. And he and company bring you a wide receiver, Brant Brooks, from the Big Reds in Muskegon.
Actually, Shane just got an NFL big time award. I was watching TV, and he popped up on the screen. I'm like, wow. But they do a really good job over at Muskegon of developing kids. And here's a young man, I actually know his father. Here's a young man that's, I like to say he's got a pretty nice ceiling, on him. And he's one that we're going to get into our program through player development, where our hopes is that we can mold him into being one of the better receivers down the road.
Again, River Rouge High School brings you offensive lineman Karan Butler.
Once again, losing all the linemen that we did this year in this class, we got a significant amount of linemen that we're going to sign. This is an area and a position area that these big guys can come into your program, get accustomed to what's going on, get into your weight program, and develop them, at a slow pace. And here's some guys, that we're looking to lean on and see what they got in that very first year.
I'm going to apologize in advance for any and all mispronunciations, because I want to keep my record of imperfect broadcasts going. So I apologize for anyone that I butchered. Nicholas Caton from West Ottawa High School, not too far from here.
Yeah, we're once again, here's another young man that, we lost Jake Jensen. He was our long snapper here, and he did a really good job. And we need some depth there. Okay, we return our other snapper here, and Joe. And once again, you got to begin that process with bringing in some younger guys. So that you're not rebuilding, you're just reloading. And here's a young man that he's going to push for time as a true freshman.
It's interesting with the long snapper. It's such a specific skill. You wonder when they're developing that along. How do they? Because most of these are good enough athletes that they're playing other positions as they grow up. How do they get them to say specialize in this, and the ceiling's really high?
Well, we're in a period in time where these young guys, they see that there's jobs to be had at this position. Our job as a staff is to locate those high schools that specialize in, having long snapping coaches and things like that. And that's what happened here. Here's a young man that really trains as a long snapper, So for us, and you've done all of our games, we probably can count one bad snap when it comes to the long snapper. So we're pretty serious in locating those kind of, guys that can step in. And it is a talent that, not many, possess, but he's one. He does a really good job at it.
Another young man from West Michigan, the port city of Muskegon. He went to North Muskegon High School, wide receiver Landon Christensen.
His quarterback's pretty good, okay? And we were actually at camp, watched this young man run around, and he had an outstanding career there. And we feel like this is another one that could come in and watch some veteran receivers, and hopefully he can pick up where they leave off.
From West Bloomfield High School in Motor City, defensive lineman Xavier Davis.
Another good program there. And, there's just tons. When we went out there in the spring, we were able to watch him move around. And, our Devin, he loved him, when he laid his eyes on him. And, obviously all these young guys got some work to do. But, we were very careful in eyeballing a lot of these guys. A lot of the guys that we went and got in this class were kids that we felt like they were going to truly benefit from our player development piece that we run here.
An all-stater from Grand Rapids West Catholic High School, played on both sides of the ball very, very well. I guess you've got him targeted for defensive side of the ball, Charlie DeBruin.
Here's one that, when you think about what we do here, we look to have athletic defensive backs, very athletic receiver types. He fits the mold. He's a winner. That program does a really good job, as we all know. When you have guys that are all well coached up and you bring them into your program, we'll figure out what position they're going to play once they get here. But we think that this is one that can play in our secondary and benefit from a great scheme that we run and do some big things in the future here.
Young man that'll be playing right in his hometown of Caledonia here, the Fighting Scots, Jackson Engelberg, a defensive lineman.
If we can keep him home, we want to keep him home, okay, and allow that, that Caledonia group right down the road to come here and support, our boys, because we got a few of them in this class that we're able to land, and they play a great brand of football over there. Coach does one heck of a job over there, and why allow them to get away when they can just stay home and, get moms and dads, good cooking and good loving back right here at home, and next thing you know, we keep them here and they can get support from their families, and he's a pretty good football player, and they're coached up, so why not keep them here?
All right, you've got a defensive back coming in from Gilmore Academy by way of University Heights, Ohio, Braden Green. Extremely
talented young man. And, once again, when you come in and you play with the gifts, that we have in our secondary, we got some guys that are pretty talented. These guys will be able to watch these guys, and they'll be able to grow into the shoes that was created for them.
Got a young man from the capital city area, Lansing Everett High School, delivers Aiden Greenberg to the Panthers.
Once again, another program with tremendous amount of athletes running around. Okay, and this is another one, but that we feel that can come in here and fill the mold that we have here for the type of athletes that we like.
Out of Southfield, Michigan, Southfield A&T High School, offensive lineman Christian Green.
Here's one with another ceiling. Here's one that we really feel like can grow into becoming a very good GLIAC offensive lineman. Once again, when you get into our program with Brock and Mich, our strength and conditioning program, it works wonders for our guys. And that's one of the reasons why we've gotten to the level we have. We really feel that our player developmental piece has been significant, and that's been big for us here.
From Grand Rapids Fort Hill Central High School, an all-conference performer who had the high school dream of winning a state championship on his last game, J.T. Hartman.
He's a winner. Very familiar with the family. Here's one that, you bring to campus again, you figure out where, he's going to affect the program. Does he play backer here? Does he play in the backfield here for us? All I know is he's a football player. We'll figure out the rest later. He's a winner. He led that team over there to a state championship. That says a lot about who he is.
You find when you talk to players about possibly changing positions that it's not as big a challenge as you might think it is, because usually guys just want to get on the field, right?
At this level, and we talk about it. We got 6 guys going both ways this spring. Okay, we got 6 guys going both ways where they're trying to figure it out. What's important to you? You want to see your team win? You want to get on the field, okay? And if both those things are important to you, we'll figure it out as coaches. That's why we get paid, to figure this thing out. And so we've got a number of guys going both ways. And in this particular class, we brought in some athletes, and we said, we're going to bring them in, and let's figure it out once they get here.
From River Rouge High School in the Motor City, linebacker Davion Hill.
Here's a young man that Coach Walker, he's been watching for some time. And like you said earlier, we're very close to that program over there. Here's another young man, once again. He could come in. He fits the mold of the backers that we like, and really good athlete, runs around, pretty physical.
You mentioned Coach Walker and Coach Amir a little while ago. You got a nice staff built up. It looks like most of the coaches coming back for you next year.
So far, last year, we got out of signing day and I lost 2. Remember that?
I do.
2 days later. So thanks for reminding me of that one, Rick. Let's make sure that we keep them around. Though they're pretty good.
All right. Also from River Rouge, Daniel Rucker III, the defensive back.
Tough kids, River Rouge, man, they come to play every day. And we were able to land a couple kids out of River Rouge group this year. They had a really good football team. They coached their kids up pretty well. But the biggest and most important thing to us, man, they're tough. They're tough. So we're excited about, landing him.
From Traverse City West High School, Adeo Ilamobade. I hope that's close.
Here's a young man that, in the linebacker position, big body guy, goes about 6'1", 215, runs well, very physical, comes from a pretty good program there, in the UP. And he's one that, once again, you get him into your program, you get him into that player developmental piece, he could have an extremely bright future here.
From the southwest corner of the state, the lower peninsula, that is, some St. Joseph High School, Max Kester.
Once again, when you start talking about, the St. Joe's and those programs over there on this side of the state, these are guys that have been coached up, good football being played over there, good brand, guys that we've had our eyes on for some time. And, they're going to be just like the other DBs that we brought in. We like our guys a little lengthy. Okay, here's one that we felt that is going to bring that length to you. Still got a little growing to do as well, but we're pretty excited about them.
From the Kalamazoo area, Portage Central High School provides offensive lineman Jake Longman.
And he's long. He's 6'6". He's a 300-pounder.
6'6".
The interesting thing about this guy here, I think he could play golf here.
Interesting.
How about that? Can you see that guy golfing? He's pretty good. He actually played high school golf as well. But, to me, he's a much better football player, and I'm really excited about getting him here and working with Coach Russell. Well,
you've got an offensive lineman coming from Granville, Mike Medewis. Had a terrific career at two-time All-Stater at Granville.
Coach does a good job over there. They do a really good job of developing their kids and coaching their kids. And so we got to keep a close eye on those type of programs. Once again, the Caledonias, the Granvilles, when you get those kind of kids, the Rockford kids, these kids get coached up. And that's what we look for. These guys come into our program. They understand tough coaching. They understand schemes, great football IQ. And this is one, once again, that we think's got a bright, future here.
Even though you've had a terrific kicker the last couple years here, but you brought another one in, a high schooler from Martin Luther King High in Detroit, Terrence Moore.
We've been extremely spoiled with our kicking game. Coach Walker is serious. Coach Bart is serious about what we do. Our kickers actually do one great job in the special teams department for us. And going to get this young man, the mindset here is that we got the all-GLIAC kicker returning, okay? And, he's going to be leaving, so that's going to be a big hole to fill. This young man's going to come in and compete. We got a couple guys that we're signing in this group, and they're going to come in and compete. So once our guy leaves, the job's going to be up for grabs.
Young man who had a terrific high school career at Lowell High School, home of the Red Arrows, Jackson Reisbig, running back and offense, I think primarily, but I think you see him on the defensive side of the line right now.
Yeah, he's right now, once again, we bring him in as an athlete. and here's a young man that we think that can crack the lineup in regards to the future here as a secondary type of player. Okay, he's physical, he runs well. Obviously, he went both ways, but here's a guy that we think that can, do a good job here in the GLIAC in the secondary for us.
Mentioned one player earlier from West Catholic High School. You got another one who had a terrific career there from Rockford, Nolan Reinhardt, defensive back.
Yeah, once again, if you can keep a kid at home that we feel like can play in the GLIAC, why not? Why not? These guys around here in West Michigan, good football, good brand of football. They represent well throughout the school year. And one of the important things to us is the football IQ. Guys that understand the tough schemes, because at the high school level, they're running really good schemes there. And a lot of the stuff that we run, these guys understand. So landing that one was big for us. And, he's one of those individuals, once again, they get in your program, they just grow with your program.
You mentioned a couple times coming from strong high school programs. Another one of those, Mona Shores High School in Muskegon, brings you Trent Rosenthal, a linebacker.
Thumper. Here's a guy that when you watch his film, he separates himself from everyone in the film because he's constantly running. He's extremely physical. He's he's had a couple injuries there to hold him back a little bit, but what a bright future for this one right here. And our whole deal is now to get him here, make sure that we work for him, get him nice and strong, and in hopes that we can get him on the field.
From Granville High School, a young man who had a terrific job this past year as a quarterback at Granville with the Bulldogs. In fact, he scored a last-second game-winning touchdown in the very last seconds to beat Caledonia. But you've got him as an athlete, Cash Ruff, which means you've got some options with him.
Notice on this class, we've signed a few quarterbacks. I've always felt like in high school, your best athlete on the field is the quarterback. So why not go and get a quarterback and bring him in and let's see if he could play somewhere else. This young man, love his name, and I think that he's going to be a significant football player for us, whether it be on offense or defense. I'm thinking that might shake out for him on defense. If so, the body type on him, when he's done, he's gonna be huge. But this is another young man that I think that he could come in and push, for some opportunities early in his career, especially if he wants it. It comes down to if you want to get out there in that first year and play, you gotta really want it.
Back to the offensive line for Carter Skolton from West Ottawa High, not too far from here.
This is another guy, once again, you're talking about another, well-coached young man, a young man that comes from a program where the head coach does a really good job of coaching their kids up and putting their kids in position to be, be pretty good. And we're excited about his future here.
Staying in West Michigan, from Allegan High School, defensive lineman Chris Smith.
Chris is one that we felt like went under the radar. Here's a young man that Coach Amir, from a distance, he's kept his eye on. And lo and behold, man, we have an opportunity to get him here and sign him, and we were able to get it done.
Well, a young man that you've certainly been familiar with for quite a while, even before he was playing at the high school level. Kevin Tidy, of course, is Davenport's outstanding baseball coach. His son, Cade Tidy, comes in as an offensive lineman from right here in Caledonia.
I've been watching him for a while and just watching his growth. You got to remember, I think he's 17 or 18 now, but I've watched him for the last 6 years and hang out with his dad. And once again, here's a guy that's a coach's son. Okay, he understands it. He gets it. Comes from a really good high school, and you could just consistently see his growth as a football player. So I'm excited for Cade. We're losing centers the last 2 years, and the young man that we just brought in has got 1 year left. So we're going to fast track him, get him ready. He's got some growing to do in that position to compete at the highest level. But I'm excited about his future.
He went down to Jacksonville Beach, Florida, to get offensive lineman Braden Wallace.
Wait till you see this one here, 6'5", 300-pounder. We were able to locate this one. We thought we were going to lose him late, but we were able to hold on to him, and he's going to have a very bright future here.
For the last few years, you've had the security of knowing you had Kyle Woyan as your punter. And as the season wound down this year, I'm thinking, boy, we're going to lose Woyan this year. He's really going to miss him. What did you do? He went out and got his brother from Stevensville Lakeshore, Alec Woyan, also a punter.
His brother was good to us, so he's going to be good to us. And, he's got some shoes to fill. His brother was pretty good. He was able to.
At least one shoe. One shoe we care about.
Exactly. So, but his big brother, it was awesome. His big brother just kept raving about him and, how good his brother is. And as you see, he's a big young man. But, here's the other deal about him. This kid can play baseball. So we've got a talented young man. That's a talented family. And so if he's going to be as good as his brother, we're in really good hands.
Was that a deal with you and Kevin Tidy? Okay, if you let him play baseball, I'll let Kate play football for you.
There you go. Tidy still owes me a couple on the baseball deal. Remember, he took our quarterback, that player.
Oh, he did, yes.
Yeah, you remember that. So, he was pretty good, too.
And our final high school player from Lowell, again, the home of the Red Arrows, Xavier Young, a defensive back.
Xavier, here's one of those young guys that we watch from a distance, and then we've got a couple other Lowell kids here on our program. So, why not watch those programs that are developing their kids? And, X, I think, his ceiling's at one of those high ceilings as well. He continued to get better and better and better. And so we're excited about his future and the development of him. He's a good athlete, good young athlete. And we're excited the fact that he's going to come here. He's going to continue to develop. And let's see where it goes with him.
Coach, your schedule's about 90% set for the fall here, but one thing for sure, and then you're going to have to get your guys, I'm sure, geared up early on for this, is you're going to be road warriors next year. Got a lot of games away from home.
We got 7. We got 7 on the road, and as you know, we fare well on the road, but we're going to get our bus miles going here, and this is going to be a tough season for us, man, because, you got to travel, and, we're going to Pennsylvania, we're going to Missouri, we're going to Kentucky, we go over to Illinois, and I may be even, we go up to Canada. I call it Canada, but it's Houghton,
Yeah.
I call it Canada, but we got to go up to Houghton again. It seems like we play up there every year, and that's always a tough trip. So our boys know that we got our work, cut out for us, and it's a challenge. It's a challenge, but when you get up to rankings and, you're number 9 in the country, there's an expectation. There's a standard, and so these guys know teams are going to be, waiting for them, and now we got to go do it on the road 7 times. So it's going to be a very, very, very different, challenging year for us.
All right, Coach, let's wrap it up by you telling us what the schedule is now for the rest of the winter and spring as far as getting your team ready for the offseason.
For us, first, it's my hats go off, to my staff. They've done a tremendous job with putting together a really good, recruiting class. As you know, it's now a transfer recruiting class, and it's a recruiting class for your youngsters, your high school guys. So, my guys have done a great job here. Now we're into our player developmental piece where we work closely with our strength and conditioning team that we have here, and I do mean our strength and conditioning team. And then we also have on the off season a number of challenges and initiatives that our football teams go through so that we can build that camaraderie amongst each other. And then we jump right into spring ball. Spring ball is going to be big for us because this year we can have a shared practice. And it looks like we're going to share a practice with a GMAC foe. We're close to getting that deal done. It's going to be here at Farmers, so you'll be able to come out and watch that, get a sneak peek of the new guys that we have.
I think that's a great rule, by the way, that being allowed to do that. And you're not playing somebody you're going to play in the fall, so it should help both programs.
Yeah, and it's for the youngsters, your player developmental piece, because for us, we have to reach down with the guys that recruit out of high school and get those guys developed and get those guys, ready to go. And then the transfer guys coming in, we got to see what they really got. What they have on film was one thing, and we want to see what they got here with our schemes, if they can handle it. So, and then we get to that piece of it, and obviously school will be done. They take their exams. And then they have their summer, program. Their summer program is a player-led program that our guys have been really, really good about. And after that, man, we bring them to camp. We bring them to camp and we see what the product's going to be for 2024.
Well, Coach, kudos to you and your staff for a great job bringing in all your players that are going to wear the Panther red and black in the fall. We look forward to it. We're excited about that. Stay tuned to DU Panthers for the schedule release. Coach, great job.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to wrap up our signing day special. So for Coach Sparky McEwen, I'm Rick Berkey saying, go Panthers.